All right, you guys, this week on the table, we learned that instead of being grateful, Grace eats the whole pumpkin pie for herself. She saves it for no one, even though her mom said that she would make her a second pumpkin pie. You know, sometimes I too can be like Grace, and I hold so tightly to the things God has given me instead of letting them go and letting Him do even bigger and better things with them. Our story today comes from 1 Samuel, and it's about a woman named Hannah, and she was unable to have children, and that made her really sad. So her and her family, they travel to Shiloh to the house of the Lord like they do every year. And they worship and they give their yearly sacrifice to God. And while they're there, Hannah prays to God and she says, God, if you would give me a son, I promise that I will give him right back to you. So she goes home and what do you know? God gives her a son and she names him Samuel. Now, Hannah has a choice to make. Does she keep her promise to God or does she keep Samuel for herself? Well, she chooses the first one. And so when Samuel is old enough, they go back to Shiloh to the house of the Lord, and she gives Samuel back to God, just as she's promised, and Samuel becomes a minister under Eli the priest. Then Hannah prayed, my heart rejoices in the Lord. The Lord has made me strong. Now I have an answer for my enemies. I rejoice because you rescued me. No one is holy like the Lord. There is no one beside you. There is no rock like our God. In the end, God blesses Hannah with more children. And as for Samuel, well, every year, Hannah would make him a small coat and bring it with her on her yearly trip to Shiloh. Hannah knew that, well, everything comes from God anyways. It was always His first. James 1:17 says, whatever is good and perfect is a gift coming down to us from God our Father, who created all the lights in the heavens. He never changes or casts a shifting shadow. So how do we show thanks to God by giving back to Him what He's given to us? Well, we can do that through our tithes and offerings. You may know this as a time in church where the pastor or someone at the front talks about giving our money to the church and therefore to God, because when we give to God, He blesses us with more. So our offering here is a great example of that. Okay, this is going to represent the blessings that God gives us. And when we let it go, He brings it right back. So watch this. We're gonna let it go and the blessings come back. All right, one more time, let it go and the blessings come back. Now, of course, we don't wanna give to God just so He'll give back to us. No, we give to God to show thanks to Him and that we trust He can do even greater things. So, how will you give thanks to someone in your family today? How will you give thanks to God today?